Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I am joined by Caleb Noble. I am Mike Noble, and today is February the 13th, one day before Valentine's Day, 2 days before pitchers and catchers officially report, and 45 Bob Gibson days until opening day for the St. Louis Cardinals.
I think we can officially say that pitchers and catchers have reported.
They have not officially reported, but they're there.
So I heard an interesting interview with Mike Claiborne, who's down there obviously already. And he said this was like last week, probably on Thursday or Friday, that everybody but maybe one or two people were already there, and that he had never seen that before. That well before the Super Bowl, everybody was there already. And he said he got a sense of everyone was just ready to get back, and last year left a bad taste in their mouths, and everybody was there early. I mean, you listen to what you just said. 2 days before pitchers and catchers report, like actually supposed to be reporting. Hold on, sorry. Goldie and Arenado were taking ground balls today,
and Juan Yepez was at second base.
Yeah, I saw that.
First off, before we get into the Cardinal talk, do you have your Valentine's? Are you okay? Here we go. We're gonna get another comment about you and your phlegm situation.
I muted myself so I didn't cough into the microphone.
Jesus!
But I needed a drink.
What is happening up there?
I don't know what happened.
Anyway, is the Valentine's Day situation good there on your end?
Yeah, I've got it all figured out. Well, it's February 13th at 7, so I better have it figured out by now.
Yeah. All right. Good. Glad to hear. That's like number one. But yeah, it was cool to see. Obviously, Wilson in all red was really cool to see today. Jack walking right alongside of him.
Jack throwing to him.
Yeah, it was nice to see. I wish we were there. Should be there. Why are we not there?
I don't know, but I guess we have to mention quickly, because this is a player profile on Tyler O'Neill, which we haven't mentioned yet. That
spoiler alert.
About. It's on the title anyway.
God.
Anyway, Jack Flaherty posted on Instagram a picture of him and Wilson and said he looks way better in red. And then Wilson posted a picture of him and Jack and said something. And Wilson commented on the Cardinals Instagram thing that said Wilson looks way better in red. And he said, I agree. And all the Cubs fans were crying in the comments, which was funny.
Well, Cub fans are going to Cub fan. I did see they're like the third or fourth worst odds to win the World Series this year. So there's that.
That's great. But so Jack Flaherty seems to not be hating St. Louis as everybody thinks.
We're going to get to Jack later in a couple of weeks. Like, obviously people know our love for him, and essentially not just him as a pitcher, which I love, him as a human also love. It's wild to hear some of these idiots that just go after him for absolutely in our minds, no reason. In their mind, a reason that nobody cares about.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into him like you said later.
Yeah,
I want so badly for a notification to come across that says Jack Flaherty's been extended or something of that sort, just to see the reaction, because those people would be half the people would be in shambles, the other half of the people would be like doing front flips and ordering jerseys. So.
Well, you already kind of ruined the entire podcast by stepping all over it, and
I didn't ruin anything. It's in the title.
Doing all of that. But either way, let's get to the other person that for some reason a lot of people decided that he's not good at baseball, even though the dude has been a stud his entire career. Mr. Tyler O'Neill, going to be very, very interesting to see. I mean, I'm playing for a contract essentially, right? Like, I mean, he's a free agent at the end of this year. Or in the next year. Sorry, at the end of next year. But again, I mean, he could be playing for an extension, could be forcing Cardinals' hands. It is wild to me, and before we get into him as a player, it is wild to me that we have a guy, sort of a unicorn, in Tyler O'Neill, in our organization, in our lineup, in our outfield, who has finished in the top 10 in MVP, has 2 Gold Glove awards, and people want to say, one, that he's injury prone, and 2, they want to trade him for whoever, whatever they can get. It's almost like they forget how good at baseball Tyler O'Neill is.
Well, he is injury prone. And I will say that this is a make or break year for Tyler O'Neill, and it should be. If Tyler O'Neill is not good in the first half of the season or he's injured, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's other options. This is if Tyler O'Neill does not come out. I'm not saying he has to replicate 2021 because he doesn't. That was an incredible season. That's very rare to have a player do that. He has to come out and be good. Or, I mean, the pressure's on Tyler O'Neill if he wants to be a Cardinal. He's going to have a career in this league because his tools are incredible. He's the most talented player on our team, probably. If I had to, just tools wise, he has the most tools on our team.
But he's a 5-tool player.
He is. But he has to be on the field.
Would you be shocked to know that over the last 3 years, he's played almost 75% of the games? That's 3 out of every 4. Now, people will say, well, that's not playing 150 games. No, but there aren't a lot of those dudes left in baseball.
It's
that
also
is playing 130 games a year. Now, my math is bad, but
okay, but it's not though, because 2020 has a 60-game season.
Yeah, and he played 50 of them.
I'm just saying,
here's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't have another season like he did last year.
Okay, what I'm saying is he played 50 out of 60 in 2020. He played 138 in 2021 out of 162. Last year, yes, he was hurt and played 90 something. But this whole thing of he is injury prone. If you look through, he was minor league player of the year in 2016. Gets traded to the Cardinals, helps win a championship there. Comes up in 18, in Memphis. He's played a majority of the games everywhere he's been. I understand people are going to get hurt, and I understand last year was frustrating because when he was healthy at the beginning of the year, we've talked about on here, he had all that arbitration talk, obviously weighed on him. There was no doubt about it that weighed on him at the beginning of the year. He gets hurt. He comes back. He's highly productive, incredibly productive. Unfortunately, he gets hurt again, comes back productive again. After that terrible year, he still was it's barely, and I understand that, but was still above league average with his OPS plus. We're talking about a guy who plays 74% of the games in the last 3 years, and we're acting like he's playing 30% of the games. I'm not arguing that you're not right, that we need him on the field. I'm not arguing that last year was frustrating, him missing almost half of a season. What I'm saying is this whole, it is so, what have you done for me lately for so many people? The last 2 years, he played 188 games out of 220. Like that, I just don't. I don't know.
Well, to be fair,
I don't love that. I don't love pegging a guy with that tag.
It's his injuries that are the problem. His injuries are from his build.
Yes, I agree.
He can't sprint, it seems like, at times without pulling a muscle. That is a problem, and that is why he's been addressing it the whole offseason. He is injury prone. That's why he's trying to fix it. That's just that's what he is right now. Last year, it wasn't like, he did get hit in the wrist one game, but that was like prolonging an injury already he had that made him miss more time. But he was missing injury. He was missing time for injuries that are the injuries injury-prone people get. Pulled hamstrings. Okay, that's a problem with your physique. That's a problem with your off-season training. It's a problem with a lot of things. Now, he's tightly wound. Like, we can see it. You can see it with your eyes how big he is, and it almost looks uncomfortable at times. You've said this as well because of how big he is. It's not surprising to me that he's having soft tissue issues, but he is working to fix that right now, which is a positive, and that's a good thing. I think Tyler O'Neill's one of the best players on the team, but this is a make or break year for him. If he's having injury problems again, he's done. Probably with the Cardinals. It's
one of those things. It was really interesting. I listened to Sean Payton talk the other day. I don't remember who was interviewing him, but he works for this company called Zebra, right? And they do a lot of the stuff that puts the things in the football, so you can maybe see if they go through the goalpost or not, and if they cross the line. All this technology. But he also said one of the things that he's been doing as he signed with the Broncos is they've been doing a lot of look into injuries. And the one thing they're finding across almost all of the leagues is either way, hamstring problems are they're the number one thing right now. And he didn't really go into depth onto why, outside of people are working so hard so often. I mean, in baseball, we've seen it. It happens to a lot of guys where those hamstring issues pop up. And I do think, like, before the 80s, maybe that mid 80 era, when guys weren't working out, I don't think you saw hamstring issues like this in any of the leagues. So there is something to be said of stretching your muscles so thinly, maybe, that there is an issue with that. I had a hamstring issue in college, and it essentially ended my career. But I also did not have the trainers, also did not have all the other thing else. But it is interesting that those hamstring issues are popping up for so many people. And I mean, you alluded to it. I just do wonder if the workout is a lot of that. I know he's working on the pliability stuff a lot this year. Spent his offseason and got married, shout out, and ended up spending most of his offseason here in St. Louis. So
Yeah, he just
It's
had
weird
a
to me
tough
that so
year.
many athletes are dealing with these hamstring issues. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's not that weird to me because it's something, they're all running as fast as they can at times, and your hamstrings are that's puts a lot of stress on your
Right, but I guess my
hamstrings.
point is they've been running like that at every league forever. It's just within the last plethora of years, it's really, really become exponentially worse.
Yeah, I don't know the science behind that,
I just hate
but
calling Tyler O'Neill injury prone when he played a majority of the games in the minors. He's been a player of the year. He's won 2 championships. He was in the MVP talk here. I understand he's had injuries. I'm not arguing any of that. And if he does it again, if he does that this year, and I think you said make or break year for Tyler O'Neill. But I do think let's let this year play out, and then let's make a decision on whether or not this guy is really injury prone or not. I'm just amazed by the amount of Cardinal fans who want to just get rid of him because in their mind he's done. Dude's 28 years
yeah.
old.
Well, I think what it is, it's frustration, and it's not. I don't agree with them. I think Tyler O'Neill I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler O'Neill was the best player on the Cardinals next year. That would not surprise me. But I get it because how long have we been waiting for a guy to come up and actually be a star?
Right.
Like, when has that happened? You get a guy that comes up, he is a star. I get we traded for him, but he was in the minor leagues with us. He comes up, he is a star. Finally, after 2 or 3 years of him not being very good. And then the next year, he's going through arbitration and he's having problems in his head and he's not very good. He had a great opening day, plummeted after that, gets hurt, comes back, really good, hurt again, gets hurt. Comes back. Then he has the same injury again and gets hurt and doesn't play in the playoffs. It's frustrating for
Agreed.
fans when you are like, oh, we finally got our guy. We've traded for Goldie and Nolan. We finally developed the third guy around those two guys. And then he's just not that again. Like, he didn't do it again.
I
So
agree,
I get the frustration.
And I'm not by no means making this comparison, all right? Because they're not the same because the injuries are different. But my God, look at King Griffey Jr. Like, that guy was hurt so often in his, like, we've talked, you and I've talked a lot about imagine the numbers he would have ended up putting up had it not been for injuries because he played the game so hard. I'm not making that comparison. Please let that be known right now. But what I am saying is you're playing a professional sport at the highest level in the world. Your guys are going to get hurt, especially in the outfield. Now, it's not fair that Tyler O'Neill came back off of a hamstring injury and we put his butt in center field and then had him stealing bases. Like, I still do have a few questions on that one. And then he gets hurt again. Like, what were we doing? But I just think maybe a full offseason, a full reset. He got paid. He got a nice little chunk of change, almost $5 million, or a little over $5 million. I don't remember what the final number was. 4.95. Either way, I have been on this boat, and maybe it's because I am a Tyler O'Neill fan. I think you're going to see a massive year this year from Tyler O'Neill. I really, truly, I'm not. He accused me of being a homer. I really, truly believe that Tyler O'Neill is going to put up monster numbers, whether that's in that number 2 slot or that 5 slot or back in the 3 slot or the 6 slot or all of them. I really believe that Tyler is going to put up. I think he's out to prove something this year. I really do.
Yeah, he should be. This is a big year for him. It's a big year for the Cardinals. Need him. I think it's hard to have these conversations, because we're going to be doing one of these on all 3 of the outfielders, and then probably some other people who may get in the mix for the outfield. It's hard to talk about one of them without referencing Jordan Walker or all of them, because Tyler O'Neill, for him, hey man, you have the least amount of service time. Dylan Carlson's got 4 years left. Lars Nootbaar's got 5 years left. Jordan Walker's got 6, right? So if you struggle this year, you're the easiest one for them to get rid of. You're the easiest one for them to say, we can give up on him. So
can I say
there's something he has. Hold on.
Agreed. No, you're right.
Something he has to go prove, or he's done with the Cardinals.
Which there's always something to be said about a top athlete with a chip on their shoulder. Like, I truly believe that. Not all guys are that way. We know that. But there is something to be said about a lot of guys, especially at 28 years old. It's not like he's 35 or he's 23. He's 28. I think I just have this hunch that he puts up a very magical season again for the Cardinals. And then the Cardinals are going to have then it gets tricky. Let me get your thoughts on this. 3rd round pick out of high school. Did you know, here's one thing I did not know. Did you know he was committed to play at Oregon State?
No.
Me neither. Hey, look, imagine him and Adley Rutschman in the same lineup.
He would have been there before Adley.
Well, how old's Adley? 24? He might have been a senior when Adley would have been a freshman.
Adley was only there for 3 years.
I'm saying when Adley was a freshman. Try to keep up here.
I don't think that would have lined up.
Okay, well, either way, Nick Madrigal maybe, I don't know, but they were winning championships. That much I do know. But yeah, he was committed there. Gets drafted in the 3rd round. One thing that always does make me giggle a little bit are the amount of fans on social media who are still screaming, trade him for an ace. Do they not understand trade value and when a player's value is high versus when it is low? You could not have Tyler O'Neill's value as a St. Louis Cardinal be any lower than it is right now.
Yeah, I also want to, like I just said, he's the easiest one in the Cardinals' mind they could move off of.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to
Yes, hold on. I'm going into a point.
All right.
Because of the amount of service time left, not because I think he'd be maybe the hardest because of the talent you've seen, like what you hope Nootbaar and Walker could eventually become. Tyler's done it.
Right.
But on top of that, he's the guy that I don't think they can move. And here's why I say that. His value to you is a potential 3rd big bat, 4th big bat on your team. If you're trading, like if you're going to go get an ace, let's say at the deadline, or a number 1 or a high-end number 2, you're getting that from a selling team, correct? Like a team in contention is not giving you Shane Bieber. Like that's not going to happen.
Well, Cardinal fans don't see it that way.
That team's not going to want Tyler O'Neill because he has a year and he'll have a year and a half of service time left. So I don't know how you would even move him if that did happen. So I think they kind of need Tyler O'Neill to say, okay, to take left field, run with it, and have that spot locked up. So the other 2, you can have those 3 spots. I mean, those 2 spots being fought for by Walker, Carlson, Nootbaar, Burleson, whomever. And then those are the guys you can be able to start trading from because Tyler O'Neill's not going to bring you what you need back.
Agreed. That's what I was saying right now. Like, agreed. And I also think it's one of those scary things because we know what he can, like, we do know what he can do. When they traded a Rosarina, people thought they knew what he could do. When they traded Doles Garcia or DFA'd him, people thought they knew what he could do. And then he goes out and he puts up 2 really good years. But we know what Tyler O'Neill can do here at the major league level. We've seen the 138 OPS plus. We've seen, or whatever that. Well, no, that was even higher, probably.
Higher.
My number was off on that.
I mean, let's just say he had over a 900 OPS, which is very rare.
Yeah, sorry, 912. Good Lord, 912, and then 148. I was off a little bit. 148 OPS plus. We've seen the 2 Gold Gloves in left field. We've seen the stolen bases. We've seen he has shown up in the big moment multiple times with big hits. It's there, and I just think a healthy Tyler O'Neill. There's a reason, folks, that the people outside of St. Louis, and I know, you and I kind of jaw and make fun of the national media at times with the baseball media because of their lack of real understanding of the Cardinals. But there is a reason why they are projecting us to be a top 5 offense. There are people out there saying we're a top 5 offense in baseball, and it's because you see Tyler O'Neill. You see the Lars Nootbaar, which we're going to talk about on our next podcast. I just spoiled it. And they see Jordan Walker on the way. They see what Tommy and Donovan done, which we've talked about in the past. And you've got the MVP. You've got Nolan, and then you add Wilson Contreras and healthy Tyler O'Neill.
And you forgot a former Rookie of the Year candidate and top 10 prospects in Dylan Carlson in center.
Yep. Yeah.
But I want to get to Tyler O'Neill at least. Here's the thing. I think he's my favorite player to watch. Maybe outside of Nolan. I don't even know. I mean, in 2021, he was by far my favorite player to watch on the team. Right. He was electric. And he had some huge moments last year. My God, that homer against the Braves was massive. And he started.
The moment does not seem to be too big for this guy.
No, I mean, going back to 2021, the dude during the 17-game winning streak, he was unreal. Like it was him. Like he was better than Goldie and Nolan both combined, maybe during that stretch. He was unreal. I want that to come back so badly. And it was really frustrating because if you remember after that Braves home run, he had like 3 or 4 homers in that Red series that immediately followed that. And then he got injured again. So it was really frustrating, I'm sure, for him as well. But the good news is he's getting worked on. And he said he feels very confident in what he was doing. He feels good, which, I mean, this is spring training. Everyone's in the best shape of their life every year, it seems like. But he has Scott Boras as an agent, which, roll your eyes, Scott Boras does silly things, and we all think he's ridiculous. But he's great at his job, and he gets his players the help they need in order for them to get the money they need, because that benefits Scott Boras as well. So I think that's good to have him working with Scott Boras and the Cardinals, being in St. Louis most of the offseason. Also, shout out, new father, Tyler O'Neill.
Yep.
Just had a baby. I'm maybe some
Dad
dad strength comes along with that. I don't think he needs any more strength.
Well done,
Maybe
by
some
the way.
dad,
Well done.
maybe some dad hamstring health.
Dad pliability. I will say this. I don't know if that's a thing. The dad strength
No.
might be a thing. Dad pliability. Woo! I struggle getting off the couch every once in a while.
So here's my question for you. And I know you said you think he's going to have a big year, but I want to expand on that a little bit. What are your expectations for Tyler O'Neill? What do you think? What do you think is most likely outcome? And also, what do you think your expectations personally are for him?
Okay. I
don't know if those are two different questions or not, but
they were pretty big. But let's start with the second one. I truly believe that Tyler this year is looking at 25 to 30 home runs. I really truly believe that, and I'll say why. Like, it's not just me throwing out a number. He hit 34. Is that right? I don't have it in front of me. I think he hit 34 in 2021. And that was in 140 games.
38.
So I think if he plays near that this year, right, 135 to 140 games, if we get that at Tyler O'Neill, I'm not saying he's going to hit the 34 home runs, but I do believe that and we continue to talk about it, we sound like a broken record, and I apologize to our fans for that, but with Ollie's flexibility of putting guys and the ability to put guys in the right position, whether that's having Tyler hit second, whether that's him going back to hitting third, where we saw him have a lot of success that broke up the Goldie Nolan thing, whether it's him hitting fifth or sixth, whatever it is, right? Wherever that is in there.
I would try him first. That'd be fun.
Right. I mean, why not? But I do think that anywhere he hits in your lineup, he becomes so much more deadly because of what we have now around him. And I think you're looking at a guy who could be 25 to 30 home runs, 80 plus RBIs, and he's going to win. If he's playing 140 games, he's winning the Gold Glove in left field. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, he will.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, like I don't want to put stealing bases on it. I don't know what they're going to do with him stealing bases this year. I don't know if they'll be a little bit more cautious.
I don't think
know
they
that
will,
answer.
Dad.
I don't think they will either.
I think their hope is, hey, Tyler, we know your talent, and we need you to be able to use that talent. So use this offseason to be able to use your talent. And I think they're probably in lockstep with that, because if Tyler goes out there and steals 20 bases, hits 35, I mean, let's just say 30 home runs, that's a big season. He's going to get paid in arbitration. Yes. And to strengthen your point about the 25 home runs, that's not crazy, because he played 96 games while struggling for, 2 months. And at the beginning of the year, a month and a half, however long it was, like really struggling. It was bad. He hit 14 home runs in 96 games.
Right.
Like, if you just take out the lowest of the lows we've seen from him, where he was just, I don't know, was it May where he was gone? Like
April and May
horrible.
Really struggled. Yeah.
And then after that, he went on a run. I mean, he hit 14 home runs. That's more than Tommy Edman, but he played 96 games. Like, just think on that track, if you're taking
that's 21 and over 145.
Yeah, to 140 games, it's over 20 home runs.
Having two terrible months.
Like, yes. And so 25 home runs, I think that's the bare minimum for him if he's healthy, because he's going to get hot and hit 6 in a week, because that's just what he does. So I don't know. At the end of the day, we're looking at a guy who right now you map out the lineup. You're probably not batting him second right as of now.
I would.
He might be. Yes, I mean, I probably would too, but I don't think they'll do that to start the year unless he's showing out in spring or Canada.
Let me ask you this: why? Who do you think hits second then?
I think they go Donovan Newbar off the top again.
Even though you said you don't love having lefties back.
I don't like it, but I'm not the one writing the lineup.
Boy, oh boy! And so then you think Tyler hits in that 6th slot is what you're? Well, who knows? We're.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, injuries, things. Jordan Walker, where's he going to? If he's here, we'll talk about him at some point. I think. What was I saying? Oh, there's a real chance that he could be the bottom of your lineup. He could be batting 6th with Nolan Gorman and Dylan Carlson and Tommy Edman round out the 6 through 9 for
right.
You. Right. Like, and at the max peak of his value, when he's doing the things that we've said he can do, when he led the team in WAR in 2021, by the way, if he's doing that again, or some 80% of that, let's say, it'd be fair to him. Then you have Wilson Contreras batting 6th, or you have Lars Nootbaar batting 6th, or whatever it ends up being. But this guy gives you not only a big bat, like you have 3 big bats already with Contreras, Goldie, Nolan. You know those guys are going to be all-star level producers for you. Tyler O'Neill's an MVP level bat. That's a different level when he's at his peak than Wilson Contreras can bring to your team. And you guys know we love Wilson Contreras, but that's what this guy can do for you. So anyone that thinks, hey, get rid of him at his lowest value, that just doesn't make any sense. No team would do that.
It does make it really hard to take people seriously when they're like, he has to be traded. Like, what are you? I don't even know what to say to them. I don't. I mean, I don't. I just scroll by. I don't talk.
Also, just like as a fan,
I don't know what you want us to say. Like, yes, he has had injuries. Do you not watch what the dude does on the baseball? Like, I'll say it again. He's a unicorn in the sport of baseball. There aren't a lot of these guys out there, you know. And I'm not saying he's Ronald Acuna, but I'm saying you look at Byron Buxton. Like, you look at the guys that everybody talks about. Tyler O'Neill does the same shit when he's playing on the baseball field. Like,
Byron Buxton's a good comparison to me because they're both just electric talents.
Yes.
And they both have concerns on it. They're going to stay on the field. But you know, when those guys are on the field, they do things that a very small amount of people can do. Like, if you look for a left fielder that can do everything Tyler O'Neill can do. Like, I think if you look at the 2021 season and what Tyler O'Neill did, that's a Barry Bonds type Pittsburgh Pirates season, where he's playing Gold Glove defense in left field. He's hitting 30 homers and he's stealing, I don't know, he can steal bases, one of the fastest players in the league. It's very rare to find a player with the skill set of Tyler O'Neill. And this is another one of those trades.
He only stole 15, but either way, that's fine.
Yeah, but you know he's a threat because he's so fast. But like, you talk about Mo trades, and people always want to talk about, you know, the Randy Arozarena trade and the bad ones he's had, the Marcell Ozuna trade. Man, they got Tyler O'Neill for Marco Gonzalez? Is that what the trade was?
Marco Gonzalez. Yeah. Who, by the way, Marco Gonzalez, nice pitcher out of Gonzaga.
He's not even in the rotation anymore.
No, but had a couple decent years.
He's had a solid career, but he's not the impact player of Tyler O'Neill.
He was on the pretty good train to be in the middle of the rotation guy here in St. Louis. And then the O'Neill trade happened. And I just remember when it happened, I had only heard of Tyler O'Neill because I think 2000, like I said, I think 16 he won the minor league MVP, or won that his conference MVP or whatever, you know, that league's MVP. And then when I started doing some digging, I was like, oh my God, this guy's a beast. And then he comes up and he has a pretty good rookie year, or his first year here, struggles a little bit the next year. And then 20 was okay, not great, but then 21 finally put it all together. 20 was such a weird year. It's hard to take anything into account for that season, and
keep in mind, in those first two seasons, when 2018 and 19, that was when that Cardinals had an outfield glut. And that's why they got rid of Arozarena, Adolis Garcia, because they had so many of them that they weren't getting these guys adequate playing time. And then 2020, weird year, obviously. So really the only full season he's had where it was a normal year, where he was up the whole year, was 2021, where he was the best player on the field, like, every day. That Cubs series in September or October, I don't know, September would have been.
September
of 2021. He just took it over for 4 games. He had like 4 or 5 homers. Like, I don't know. What is your confidence level in Tyler O'Neill returning that form? I know
8.
we know what he can do. 8 out of 10?
Yep.
Okay. The injuries do worry me. They're because he's just such a big guy. He's such an odd build. Like, he really is. You don't see guys. I don't have anything to compare him to.
5'10", 5'11",
and he's just jacked. Like, I don't have anything to compare him to because I've never seen anyone really like him. So I
wonder how tall Ron Gant was. You don't remember Ron Gant, but he was yoked like that too. But he might have been taller. I don't know that answer.
Just for the sake of this, I'm going to say given health. So given the fact that he plays, let's just say 130 games. Be reasonable with it. My confidence level that he's going to be an all-star caliber producer is probably a 10 out of 10 if he's healthy. Now, but what brings me down is I don't know what my confidence level is of him being healthy, because last year it just seemed like every time he ran, I was holding my breath. Like, I knew there was a chance he was going to blow a tire. So if he gets that figured out, man, I don't know if anything can stop Tyler O'Neill. He's going to get a massive payday in a few years, but I'm excited to see what he does, man, because I think he's one of those guys that swings this team's potential completely into a different level.
Ron Gant was 6 foot, so I was pretty close. I mean, looked like a freaking middle linebacker, you know, or I mean, I guess today's football game would say like a free safety, but that's who O'Neill, and he's even bigger than Ron Gant was, like, no doubt about it. O'Neill's dad, Mr. Canada. Like, that's the other thing we didn't even bring up. He is from Canada, like the Canadian sensation. So, you know, Maple Ridge. What did Jimmy Hayes call him? I loved that. Johnny Chaos. Johnny Chaos. Tyler O'Neill did not like it. He does not want that to stick. Well, we will not stick with that one. But I did think that one was funny. He has Tyler also, by the way, as a fan. I mean, the guy is awesome. Like, the way I met him a few times, he was always really nice to me. But the way he talks in post-game interviews after he does something cool is the best thing you'll ever see. Yeah. Like, go back if you want to love Tyler O'Neill.
go watch all of his post-game interviews. They're all on YouTube. They're the funniest shit you'll ever see in your life because nothing he says makes any sense.
Right.
It's all just like frat boy lingo, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. He's
such a Chad.
Big fan of his. Really, really excited to see what he can do this year. And like I said, 8 out of 10 for me on the. I'm gonna give a 7 out of 10 overall. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds 7.5. All right. Before we go to a few more things, before we get out of here, but a couple other things. Once again, thank you so much for watching us. If you look right down here, you will find our Twitter, and you can find us there. You can obviously find us on Facebook, and you can find us on Instagram. We have a few followers, but we don't really do much on there. But what I will say is this: please, while you're watching this, hit that little subscribe button. Those numbers are going up. Thank you so much. We've got it. We need to keep that rolling. We're trying to do some cool things around here with the pod. And the more subscribers we get, hey, the better things look and the better things are for us. Plus, we appreciate you. Plus, you get notifications if you hit that little bell.
We're also getting really close to 200 subscribers, which is cool.
Yep, 197, 198, somewhere in that area. So yeah, thank you guys. You guys are all the best, but we appreciate that. Let's go through a few other things just very quickly to stay with baseball. And I wanted to start off this way, and then I got confused and I didn't. But how awesome would it have been to see Miles Michaelis driving up in his truck, blaring "The boys are back in town"? Is there anything more Miles Michaelis than that?
No, unless he was like smoking a marijuana cigarette or something. Then that would be the most Miles Michaelis.
First of all, stop. Who did you just call it a marijuana cigarette?
That's my favorite thing that people refer to it as. So I decided to go with it. But I thought, okay, whatever. But I love Miles. He said he bought.
No, I'm sorry. I can't gloss over that.
No, hold on. He said he bought a shit ton of sage for this year too, like packages of it.
Like, can you just see? Like, I want to see the slow mo. Like it was Miles Teller in Maverick. Like that's what I imagine.
Do you think he was wearing a shirt? And if he was, it had
had to be a button up, unbuttoned. By the way,
right.
Yeah, unbuttoned
with a tie that's like undone.
I don't even know if there was a tie, but no, the mustache is in like perfect. He's been grooming that mustache. Probably some khaki joggers with a nice new pair of J's. And boys are back in town. Probably the chain, right? No shirt and the chain.
Yeah.
And it was straight out of Maverick. That's exactly when I saw that today. I was laughing so hard because that's all I could picture was this slow motion Miles Michaelis, Thin Lizzy blaring out of his probably F450 or whatever he drives.
How long do you think he planned on doing that? That's probably like all offseason.
When did the Cardinal season end? The next day. He's been planning. It was like when Rogers showed up as Nick Cage to, you know what I mean? From what's the Alcatraz? What can I not think of the movie? From The Rock. Like that's what I picture. That's what I picture him like. That's what it was like today.
I think, don't you have a feeling, this is a little bit off top? No, not really. I have a feeling the vibes around this team are pretty good. Like, it seems like it's a really good clubhouse, and the vibes around the season seem to be trending in a very positive direction.
Well, you know what keeps the vibes up is winning. So, you've got a winning tradition in there. You've got winning players in there. You've got a manager who has said multiple times it's World Series or bust. Like, that's it. And when you have those guys in your clubhouse with you, and I know Yachty's gone, and I know Albert's gone, but you still got Waino in there. You've got Goldie, you've got Nolan. The thing is, outside of Waino now, is there another? And Contreras, you got Contreras now, a guy who's won a World Series. Those are the only two guys in that clubhouse who won a World Series. There's probably is there a reliever I'm missing?
No, that's it.
It's those two, right? So Waino, yeah. But that has to be, like I said.
I mean, it's a winning culture.
Are you happy because you win, or do you win because you're happy? Who cares? Like, a winning organization is going to win, and everybody wants to always say, well, they can't win in the playoffs. Stop, right? The playoffs, everything, there's such a turn when you get to the playoffs. But this team is built to win, and I truly believe, and we'll get to this here in a second, but the Mo and the boys come the trade deadline, and this sounds so like unicorns, puppies, and rainbows, but I really do believe that they're setting themselves up to make a nice big splash at the trade deadline.
Everything I've heard, I listen to a lot of sports talk radio, so take this all with a grain of salt. But I do it because it does give you some. Well, at the end of the day, it does give you really good information. It does. That I want to be able to know if I don't listen to all of these. It seems that they used a lot of this offseason post signing Wilson Contreras when everyone thinks they took vacations. They didn't. They were still doing their job.
Yeah,
It seems like they were doing a lot of setting the groundwork for what they might be able to get at the trade deadline, and it makes a lot of sense. Like this ties in with Tyler O'Neill very well. If he's out there and he takes one of those left field spots, and Jordan Walker's up and he takes one of the right field spots, well, I'm sorry, but there's only one more spot in the outfield, and both of those guys have extremely high trade value. So it makes sense that they're going to wait to see what do these people do. Who takes second base? Is Nolan Gorman going to take it? And then they're going to know what they need and who they're willing to give up at that time. When right now, let's be honest, I love Lars Nootbaar. We'll talk about him later. Like you said, we don't really know if he's going to do it again. We have to see it. I believe he will, but my belief doesn't really matter. So I think they're using their time wisely by pushing this off a little bit till the trade deadline, because they know, let's be honest, even if the Cubs and the Brewers push the Cardinals, they're not running away with it. That's not going to happen. Even if it happens, what I'm saying, even if it happens,
I agree.
Best case scenario for those two teams isn't running away with the division from the Cardinals.
Well, what were the Brewers up on us 5.5 games last year in August, and we ended up going on and winning it
July,
by a landslide.
I think.
Yeah, whatever it was. Just to clarify for our viewers and our fans and our baseball people out there, is there more than one left field spot and more than one right field spot that they play on a day? I'm confused.
I don't know what you're asking me.
You said if O'Neill wins one of those left field spots or Walker wins one of the
I meant one of the
multiples now. I mean, they got new rule changes. I didn't know.
Are you gonna let me answer?
No.
I meant one of the outfield spots.
Oh, well, okay. I got confused. I just wanted to make sure that
either way, you get my point.
Speaking of the changes, the runner on second, which I know you don't mind, the runner in second in the playoffs, or not in playoffs. Extra innings stays.
Who's fucking it up now, huh?
Yeah, please stop calling it a ghost runner. There is an actual human there. Like, if you did not grow up playing wiffle ball and you don't understand what a fucking ghost runner is, it is not an actual human running the bases on second base.
It's also not given to you for free.
There are people who are paid on the daily to cover the sport of baseball, still referring to it as a ghost runner. It's not.
It's also not given to you. It's given to you for free. Like a ghost runner in wiffle balls, like you hit a double and then you say ghost runner and no one's actually there. There's a guy on second. This isn't that at all. Like there's no similarities there.
I guarantee these people don't understand all-time quarterback at all.
Like literally the first word of ghost runner is ghost.
Right.
It seems self-explanatory.
I don't know how many times I have to reply to people. Please stop calling it that. That's not what it is. Anyway, so that stays. Let's talk about that first. I hate it. I know that you like it. I understand it. I just don't like it. Let the game play. I hate forcing something new into a game. I don't love the NFL overtime rules. I don't love the way we do a lot of stuff. I don't necessarily even love the hockey 3-on-3 at the end. I understand it. I hate that in the Soccer World Cup, you can tie. Let the game play out. I understand it. It's trying to save arms, but they've already added another rotation spot or another spot in your roster. Let's let the game play out.
Like isn't the word I would use. Come to accept is the word I would use.
Okay.
And here's why I'm okay with it. One, I don't like the idea of having to go and use your whole bullpen in a day. It hurts. I mean, pitchers do not go long enough in games. Pitchers don't go far enough in games for that to be a thing that you should want to do. Two, I don't want to be at a baseball game that goes 7 hours long. Nobody does.
What do you have to do? Play Harry Potter?
One human enjoys that. Not one. Okay. No one likes that. The players don't like it. It risks people for injuries. It's not good for them at all. They play 162 games. Would you rather lose the game because the guy was on second base, which by the way, it's an even playing field. Okay. It really is. Your guy's on second base too. It brings situational hitting back into baseball, but also, I'd rather lose that game because of some bullshit, maybe a home run that gave them the lead or whatever. Then lose, they have on my pitcher's throw and lose that game and then now lose the next game because I have nobody to pitch.
Which what you're saying has been baseball for 130 years.
That doesn't mean you can't improve it.
I don't think it's an improvement. That's what I'm saying.
162 games.
First of all, the problem, and you got to the crux of it, is the starting pitchers don't go deep in games anymore. That is still a problem.
But that just is what it is. It's not changed.
I understand, but that doesn't necessarily mean now we're going to change the rule. Like, are we going to go to 7 innings here soon? Is that next?
Stop.
I'm not sure. Like,
it makes sense.
Is there not precedence for it? Did we not do it during COVID where we played 7-inning little league doubleheaders?
Okay, well, that's not they took that out, so that's not even relevant.
But all I'm saying
That
is,
was
okay,
unprecedented time. So there's really not a precedence. If we get another pandemic, maybe we'll go to 7 innings. But knock on
well,
wood, that doesn't
we better
happen.
not.
But what I'm saying
And
is
then
it makes sense to me.
I don't love it. I understand it. I don't love it. I don't like it. I don't even like it. And then second, nope, we're back to the little league rules again. When Rob Manfred sits in a,
What did you just say? Did you explain what the rule was before you?
No, I didn't, because in my mind went another way. And it wasn't a marijuana cigarette, by the way, just so everybody knows. My mind just went another direction.
Explain the rule. You're going off on tangents.
I want you to explain to me. Do you believe Rob Manfred and all these guys just sit around and they come up with the dumbest rules of all time, and they just like, yeah, let's do that one.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what you're referring to right now.
Right. Well, here's what I'm referring to. Now a position player cannot pitch unless you are up by 10.
I love it.
Dude, you understand that this is the first step to a mercy rule, right?
No, here's why I love it. I love it because I hate position players pitching. It's the worst thing you can do in your sport. It's embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing. Here's why I say this. I think if you're a team, and we've come to a position now where head-to-head matchups matter a lot because of the way those affect playoffs now, right? You can get a higher seed if you can win your division if you are tied in record, but you're up 7-6 in the season series and you're the Mets against the Braves. I don't like the idea of a team being able to throw the towel in the 7th inning to save pitching for Sunday because they're getting beat so bad. Throw somebody out there. Bring someone up if you have to tomorrow. I don't like that. I don't like seeing position players pitch. Which I don't think it's good for the sport.
Your argument is the same with me for why you shouldn't have the runner on second base. Bring somebody up to the next day. Let's loosen those rules up if we need to.
It's not the same thing
to make it easier. It is. Play the game. That's all I'm saying. Play the game. And I'm not even like I hate the term old school, by the way. So I don't even want to say that. But I'm not like a 1970s baseball, like that's how the game should be played. I'm not, and you know that. But I do believe, like I coached Little League, right? I coached high school baseball. That some of these rules are very reminiscent of tournament rules that you played under when we would travel out of state or anywhere around.
Dad.
And this is the major leagues. Like imagine. Hold on. Let me finish. Imagine, right? The NFL has a terrible rule where you have 2 quarterbacks who get hurt. Right. You can only carry 2. They used to be able to carry 3. They carry 2 now. They got to change that. I understand that. But imagine if the 2 get hurt. You don't have a third one. You're going to put somebody else back there. Like what do you want them to do? Like,
well, I don't understand your question.
What I'm saying is, I guess it was a bad analogy if we're actually thinking about it.
It didn't even make any sense.
But here's what I will say. I guess what I'm saying is don't change the rules. Like just benefit a few.
I don't agree with that.
How many times has it happened?
You should be able to change rules. You should be able to change your rules to make your game better. Here's the problem I have. I have a problem when you're down 7 in the 7th inning, and you have to be down 10 in the 9th inning or something like that. If you're on 7 in the 7th inning and you say, well, screw it, today we're gonna lose, throw in the towel. We've seen 7-run comebacks. Also, like now the advantage for tomorrow that this team could have gotten because they absolutely steamrolled you, and now you're not pitching your pitches. You've given up on the game. Like that's not good for your sport. It's not like when the Chiefs are down 21 in the 4th quarter, they pull all their starters out. They don't do that.
That's a better analogy. But here's what I will say. What I'm telling you is they are setting it up. There's a lot of talk for a mercy rule. They're setting that up now. This is step 1.
They're not going to do that, Dad.
Okay.
No professional sport's ever done that. Why would they do that?
Okay.
And they're not doing it. We cannot be mad at rule changes.
How cool was it to see Yachty and Albert pitch last year?
In the 9th inning when we were up by more than 10.
Or it was, I don't know if it was 10.
Yeah, we were. Yes, we were. In the 9th inning.
I don't know. All right. I don't like it.
That's fine. But It is what it is. Like, I don't hate either rule because I don't think watching a game you're really going to notice that either rule is taking place other than the one on second base. But honestly, I think those are kind of fun to watch. We've talked about that. It is exciting. It's immediate action in extra innings. It is exciting.
You are correct. But I still don't like it. But you're right.
It's immediate action. That's why, like, for us, we're the fans that have known baseball forever, so we know what it was like before. For me, when I got into hockey after the 3-on-3 and the shootout were in the place. I love them both because I never saw it before. I think for new fans, that is exciting. It's like a It's when you get to like you have the chance to win in the first 9 innings, you don't do it. Fine, here's this kooky rule with the guy on second base. Whoever can do this, well, I mean, it's also
You're
a
not
skill.
Convincing me, but I get it. I am, like I said, I get it. I just don't like
It's a skill to get
and
that guy in. It's also
I don't
a
like
way to
not
keep
letting
bunting in the game.
I don't like not letting a play. Like, hey, I got a roster of 26 guys. Let me not. Now, are you going to tell me that I can't have a pitcher hit if I need to?
No, you can do that. That's not the rule. Like, that's the problem, Dad. Like, now you're going, whatever. Okay, what else is there to talk about?
So I got
something else.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? Like,
we're going too long. We're going too long.
That's my point.
This.
Second thing, Mo gets an extension through 25. Good, by the way. Look, we've been critical of Mo. I've been very critical of Mo before, but let's not forget President of Baseball Operations. I will say it again, since 1996, and I know that was Jockety, but then Mo took over. We went to another World Series. I understand we haven't been for a while. It's fucking hard. That's been the best 25 years of baseball I've ever seen in my life. So you can't, like, if you look at you want to look at the last 5 years, Cardinals are probably in the top 10 in most wins. I guarantee they are. You look at the past 10, they're in like the top 5. You go to the past 20, they're in like the top 3. So let's not forget, we are spoiled as Cardinals fans. I understand that. I appreciate that. And boy, do I love it, because I lived through the 90s before Tony got here. So
did they have a was it 2005 where they had a losing season?
Off the 04 season? No, I don't think so.
2007?
I
think it's been 15. 2007. That makes more sense to me.
Okay.
I think it's been 15 straight years since they've had a losing season under John Mozeliak.
Yeah. So
say what you want. Here's the thing I've learned. People have a problem with John Mozeliak because they don't know what John Mozeliak's job is. John Mozeliak's job is to oversee all of the baseball operations. That's why his job is called the president of baseball operations. His job is not to set the payroll. It's not to decide that they can go spend X amount of dollars. It's not. I mean, he employs Randy Flores. He employs Michael Gersh. Randy Flores, one of the most successful drafting. I don't know how to say that. Drafters of the last 5 years, easily.
Not drifters, but drafters.
Everything you like about Cardinal baseball, like for me, I've grown up. John Mozeliak's always been around. It's not because of John Mozeliak, maybe, but he has seen it through. Like, he has made this happen. He's one of the most successful. He's probably the most successful exec in Cardinal history. One of them.
He's got to be right there. Yeah,
him and Jockety, right?
Yeah, they those two very, very. I mean, Jockety won 3. Was Jockety here in 11 or was Mo here in 11?
Mo, it was Mo.
Yeah, okay.
Who made the trade.
Jockety won 2.
By the way, no one gives Mo credit. Mo made the great trades to make 2011 happen.
Well, Tony made those trades.
No, I hate that, because then you can't give him credit for
it. Well, it's true. I mean, I might hate it, but it's true.
But he still pulled it off. Like, Mozeliak didn't go talk to Toronto to make that trade happen. So, great. I think it's great. All the people that hate this move are really mad at Bill DeWitt and don't know it. You're not mad at John Mozeliak.
One last baseball thing. We had a comment today. I saw Daniel Shue, I believe, comment, and I know we're not doing a mailbag, but I did want to just kind of bring it up. Talking about Cooper Herpy Chirpy, not Herpy Chirpy, Herpy Chirpy. Chirpy. I was going to say it wrong. I was like, do not say Herpy. Do not. And I said it. Cooper Chirpy. And what we thought about him, I think we're in the talks of maybe having somebody come on and go through minor league baseball with us, right? I'm not going to lie. I haven't dug enough into him. It's like, I'm not avoiding the question. I would like to know more as well, to be very fair. And I do think we are in the process of getting somebody on to do a minor league. Or is this true, or am I making this up, or didn't we talk about this?
No, we will. And also, can I get my thoughts on Jerby for a second?
Please. Jerby.
I think he's already, without pitching a game in the minor leagues, I think he's already your second best pitching prospect behind Dink Hens.
What about Graceffo?
I think he's already a better pitching prospect.
Okay, great. Well, there you go. I thought it was a great question, so thank you.
He is really good. He's very unique. He has good control of all his pitches, and I think he was the best college pitcher out of the draft. I think he's going to be
Santa Clara. Is that right?
No, he went to Oregon State.
Oregon State. Okay.
I think you're going to be talking about him making the roster next season.
Oh, okay. All right. But so there you go. Thank you for that, by the way. I figured you would have a better take on Herpy Jerpy than I did.
My guess is he starts in Peoria, probably gets up to Springfield, and probably dominates to the level of maybe being considered for the roster in 2024. Sorry.
Who was the Santa Clara pitcher we drafted? I think he was a lefty.
Motts? Is that where Motts came from? Bryson Motts?
A couple years ago. First round pick.
Oh, then no. No, Jerpy was the first round pick from this last year.
Yeah, this was 2 years ago. Either way, that's whatever. That's irrelevant. So there you go, Dan. But we are going to have a guy come on with us soon and go through the minor leagues, which I think will help me because I'm still trying to learn a lot of these guys. And I think it'll also help our audience. I'm excited about that. So I'm not trying to ignore the question. Caleb gave you a very good answer. I didn't have one. So thank you for that. Done with baseball for now, but Super Bowl, just not to hurt ourselves, but we both picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a great game. I know. I don't really.
Script was well written.
Okay, stop. Here's the thing. It wasn't a great. It was a bad time to call it. It really was. But to be fair, he did push Juju off his route, and who knows how that he might have caught that touchdown if he didn't.
No,
I saw something. Here's the thing. I saw something about the route he ran that the fact that you pushed him off at that time and held him, he was going to do a little cut and then cut to the corner. They completely threw him off. He might have been able to. Either way, it was a great Super Bowl. It was one of the best I think we've seen in years. Both quarterbacks, man, first time ever 2 black quarterbacks started the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
And they put on a show.
And 2 brothers played against each other. First time.
And the 2 African American quarterbacks, actually, obviously Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, put on an absolute show, both of them. And I talked on here. I said, I don't know how Jalen Hurts is going to handle the pressure because they had kind of eased their way to the Super Bowl, to be honest. He was incredible. So
outside of the fumble, incredible. I mean, if they win that game, he's going away the MVP. It's not even close.
Yes.
Here's what I'll say about the call, and I don't want to. I first of all, shout out to the Chiefs. They won. We're talking now a dynasty. We're talking
Mahomes and rarefied air.
Mount Rushmore is what I mean. That's where he's 27. You're gonna have to get close to putting him on that Mount Rushmore. Yeah. But what I will say about the call is this, and I didn't play football deep into anything, right? I played it into 9th grade. That was it. But I watch a lot and I listen to a lot. Almost to a T, every former player that I've either follow on Twitter or listened to today talk about said the thing that I would have had said. You can't throw the flag there because you didn't throw it all day. Somebody today, I don't remember who it was, broke it down. There were at least 10 plays throughout the day where there was a more egregious hold that guy did not throw the flag on. And when you throw the flag there, I'm not saying it's not a hold. I mean, the guy came out and said hold, and everyone's like, well, he said it. So I was like, what do you expect him to say? Shout out to him,
it was
by
a
the way,
hold.
Bradbury.
No one's arguing. Well, also, no one's
also
arguing.
Shout out to him for just saying owning it. Let's shut it down. Okay, it was a hold. But he also said the very next word, I didn't know if he'd call it. There's a reason he said that, because the guy wasn't calling it all day.
I think you're in a spot with this where calling it, not calling it, both impact the game and the outcome. Because if the hold doesn't happen and he scores, right? So if you don't call it, then you're kind of allowing free reign in the red zone when Patrick Mahomes is trying to put his team on top to do whatever the hell you want.
The throw was 10 yards past him, dude. Even if it was a little slight touch.
You know as well as I do that. Though, on defensive hold takes place close to the line of scrimmage can make throws look worse because you held them.
For 58 minutes, you have created an environment of the game on how it's going to be played and called. So you cannot throw that, because once that flag is thrown, the game's over. You have now decided the outcome of the game. It's 3rd down. Let them kick the field goal. Butker kicked the field. He did miss one earlier, by the way. And let's see what Jalen Hurts. You've already had one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. You just ended it with the flag that you didn't have to throw in. And I understand what you're saying about Mahomes. I understand that KC fans would be pissed. I get it. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to look up at the monitor and they're going to be pissed. And then they're going to move on because they're going to wait for Butker to kick the field. But that ended the game, dude. You ended one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. First time a team has scored 35 and lost because of a flag. And I'm always very critical of officials. I get made fun of for that. That's okay. You just can't become part of the game there. I do think until the NFL goes to full-time refs, you got a lot of people the moment's too big for. I'm not saying this is the fact, but the guy who threw it, his crew, #1 flags throughout the entire year. And I thought the game had been called pretty well. I thought it was a really well called game. Here's my thing. I agree with you. The flag should not have been thrown. But at the same time, the Chiefs scored on all 4 drives in the second half against a team that was supposed to have the best defense in football. If you're going to be the best defense in football, be the best defense in football. They didn't even get a quarterback hit. Or they got in the second half, I don't think. Maybe one. You had a hobbled Patrick Mahomes slicing and dicing your offense, your defense that was supposed to have the best defensive line. It was the second most sacks ever. Yeah.
for a defensive
Well, that
line.
was the script.
So stop. Don't do that because then that calls into question the sport that everybody loves.
You know that I'm kidding.
But what I'm saying is, I get it. The Eagles could have won that game, and that flag shouldn't have even mattered.
Yeah. Fair.
Don't
Okay.
fumble. Don't fumble the ball and give up a touchdown. And let's be honest, that Miles Sanders one was bang bang. I get it. Probably it was a right call, probably, but that could have gone the other way, and that could have been another touchdown they took away. So
I think it was McAfee today. I was watching. I don't remember. I watched a few of the shows. Was talking about what if that's in the end zone? Do they call it a touchdown? Do you know what I mean? Like such a different play because he doesn't have to make a football move and take another step. A really interesting thought. Anyway, final thought because you sent me this message, and so now you have made me look into it. What is up with all of these UFOs that are going on in our country?
I don't know. And it's strange. I'll say that. It's strange. I don't know anything about foreign affairs. People seem to think it comes from a specific country in Asia. I don't know. But I do know that I would like it to stop.
Are you scared to say it?
Yeah, I'm not saying it and putting it online. I'm not.
Here's what was wild. I was watching something earlier today too, and it was like the press secretary talking about it, and like everybody's laughing about the fact that they're saying it's not ET or it's not the UFOs, and all I can think of is, okay, well, if it's not, isn't the other alternative a little bit more scary?
And there was an asteroid, and there was no, it's not. The alternative's not scarier. And there was an asteroid that hit a part of Europe yesterday, or like came into the atmosphere.
And did you see the green lights over Hawaii? They like it looked like a barcode. There's like all these green lights coming over. Something's happening. Like
just what we need.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're gonna come here, see how shitty some of the parts of our world are, and COVID-19 still going around, and they're gonna get the fuck out. That's what they're gonna do.
If they come down and ruin Tyler O'Neill's redemption tour, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah. Paul DeYoung's redemption tour that we've been lauding for 2 years.
Anything else that you want to talk about with the Cardinals, with Tyler O'Neill, or baseball before we get out of here?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, sweet.
We're actually one thing. I'm rooting for Tyler O'Neill. I really am. What?
Thank you. No, it's just funny the way you said it.
No, I am. Like I would really love to see him come back and be good because I think he's one of the most fun players to watch when he is.
Agreed. I think every fan should be rooting for Tyler O'Neill to have a massive season this year. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that should be like he does well. This team rolls. All right. One last time. You can find us on our Twitter if you'd like. You can find us on Facebook. Hit that little subscribe button. Tell a friend. We greatly appreciate all that. You're what makes it roll. We can't appreciate you guys anymore. It is Mardi Gras week. So down here is wild. We're going to have one more episode this week and then one next weekend, I think, right? Isn't that what we're going to do?
We'll figure it out.
Sticking with the outfielders. Yeah, because we've got people coming down for Mardi Gras. I will be quite busy living the dream down here.
Wrap it up.
Wild, dude.
Why do your outros take so long?
I was just thinking, it's how my mind works. You know this. This is not new. Anyway, we appreciate all of you guys so much. Have an amazing week. And next time we talk, pitchers and catchers will have officially reported. See ya.